you don't know the man seated to my left, you should have paid more attention coming into the building. This is Mr. Alan Faena, the founder of Faena Group, the man whose penthouse we are all in at the moment. And we are here to talk about the art of creativity with no one better. So Alan, welcome.
Welcome. How are you?
Very well. Let's just jump in. Faena Group has been around now 20 years. I think this property going on a decade next year, yes? And so much rolling out. But in the intervening years, I'd just like to know, how has hospitality changed since you started Faena Group?
I don't know, because I am not in the hospitality business. I am more in elevate people's soul. And I think that for me, always play with buildings allow me to have like big pots to make magic. And in that magic, at the end of the day, what for me the best gain is when I see the people happy, the people enjoying, offering and elevating the communities, and do like this week in our week, together with Fine Art, and during all year around, work with artists then to give to the community for free, to enjoy, to come and see, interact, and give to the city of Miami Beach that it welcomed me when I arrived here 10 years ago, the best that I can give, that is my soul, my magic, my intellectuality, my way of living, my way of thinking. And obviously, to do that, you need a place where the people can sleep and sleep together in our house. So we create a hotel, but in the same way, we create a theater because we love the dancing, we love, express music and lyrics and movement on our theater. But in the same way, we have the Faena Forum where we do exhibition, we do talks, we bring the best minds of the world to talk and express. Also, we have a community with Faena Rose that we put, people coming like a melting pot that Miami is today, people arriving from all over, and they can interact and be part of our community. So we, like a stone in the lagoon, we have a lot of waves. And this is what I enjoy to do waves and to create vibration to the people.
One of the things I think is so interesting, to answer my own question, I think in some ways hospitality is caught up to your vision, because very interesting the way in which you bring art and culture and music together. I think, for example, if everyone remembers sort of travel pre-pandemic, it was very much the same, right? As long as somebody had a beautiful poolside picture, it could be that poolside picture anywhere in the world. But what you create is singularly Faena, right? There's a point of view to what you do. Now I know you started in fashion with Via Vai. How has that helped develop your point of view when it comes to the community that you create?
Well, I started and I grew in the fashion business. That is, for me, was the best school that I can have, because fashion is a 360 interaction between you and the people and the market. So the way that what you need to create for them, how you want them to dress, in which color, and you learn in fashion something very, very important, that is to create a desire. How to create desire, why my product is, $1,000 and the competition is $5, and then we produce in the same place. And that is mainly how you create that bridge between you and your buyer. And then, so I learned everything from there. And when I left fashion, I started thinking, after a couple of years of don't know what to do and a couple of years of uncertainty, and to see as a creator how I will follow my life, because when you're an investor, it's easy to go and put money in someone, but when you are a creator, you need the people to put money on you. So what you are going to offer also to the investor that are going to put money on you is a big work. And as I say, after a couple of years of uncertainty, I realized that the same market is what buy high fashion and that desire to create the product that the people that come, like in this week, to a hotel that offer you what I was offering in fashion. Obviously, you need much more $1 million that I didn't have at the time, but that was another story, how to get to the money. We can talk more if you want. But
Always.
that will be more financial. But also was a much more in Argentina, that there is no credit, no loan, so you need more magic. But I think that fashion, and you see now, you see with LVMH, how they try to, all these big brands are trying to develop a then hotel because they realize about that link between fashion and product and between fashion and hotel, and realizing everybody want to take a pool and conquer the pool because it's a way to tell to their client, I have a pool, come and enjoy to the pool or to a restaurant. So it's a big link that I realized 20 years before.
Well, let's go back to desire for a second, because I think it's unmistakable that's what you create. But interestingly, whether it was in Puerto Maduro, in Buenos Aires, or here in Miami, where you started out were not desirable areas. You looked at them as a developer and said, I'm going to make them desirable. What was the impulse there? Why start somewhere where there was no desire?
I will start by, I understand your question, but I will try to get in by the side. So everybody talk about luxury today. Luxury this, luxury that, is luxury, we pay for luxury, we like the luxury, and everything is luxury. Everybody that want to do something immediately put it under the luxury word. And the question is how you create the luxury, what luxury means, and how you conquer from, as a creator from nothing, that market of luxury. So I talk about luxury because how you create luxury is a way how to create. Again, I am not in the business of real estate. I am on the business to elevate people's soul. So I don't care so much where that place is located if they give me the tools that I need to do that. So in this case, when I came to Miami, that I was not from Miami, I was from Buenos Aires, arriving in Miami. When I arrived to this area, supposedly was not very good for the people that lives in Miami, but was not my problem because I was not living in Miami. So, but I see around, as we see now, you see the ocean, you see the other side, and you see how beautiful is the creek, only 2 blocks, and I think this is the perfect place to make that magic. And even that for the market was good for what I was trying to achieve. So this is how I realized that was a good place, and the rest is history, to try to put all this land together and to create a district that creating, is much more interesting because you create a synergy between all the aspects, and you can do retail and theater and the forum and everything, the residents and everything fall together much easier, And I think that at Faena, what we do always is create district that was make us special.
So what elevates your soul?
My wife, first. Grace.
That is a great answer.
And elevate my life knowing that every day I conquer the day.
What about inspiration? I mean, you clearly have a very singular aesthetic. How much do you pay attention to social media, for example? How much do you pay attention to trends?
To social media, not so much attention, because then it gets me distracted. And I don't want, I prefer my point of view to be more pure and more clear and not to see so much. And I see a lot of confusion that get me confused if I want to participate. So I don't do a lot social media, but but I get inspired having my time to think what's next, what I wanted to do, how I want to do, work with my team, go through my team in ideas, you know.
You have a property opening next year in New York. Now, you know, whether it was Puerto Maduro or here in Miami, there's a very different thing going into New York, right? I mean, there's how do you become additive to a city like Manhattan, which already has so much, where you're not necessarily developing the whole district? It's a little bit of a departure. How did you have to think about that property differently?
I think that we will take our soul, our way of doing things, our approach to the community, our approach to art, interacting, collaborating with the talent, offer to the city our like a tango dancing between us and the city. But I cannot see myself like doing things because we are going to that city, because in that case we will stop being honest with who we are. And what we want to do is take our music, take our dancing, interact, and take our intellectuality, our words, and play, and see how it goes.
When you say authenticity, now, or honesty to who you are, authenticity is a term that's thrown around all the time, right? Everybody tries to have some claim to authenticity. I think with your brand, what's really amazing is you can see Faena, you can see it coming, right? What is that authenticity to you? What is your authentic brand?
I think that our is trying always to be me, as I was telling you, not pay attention to try to be someone else because you arrived to a city, or try to be someone else because you're having this conversation, or try to be someone else because whatever. Be yourself. And I think that was always my formula, be myself. And in the beginning probably it's much more you have to sustain to try to be yourself, but now is what we have to offer.
And you keep sort of expanding. I mean, you have the Bazaar, you have Casa Faena, you're going into the High Line in Manhattan. How do you identify the spaces where you can bring something new? And how do you know when something might be a trend that you don't want to chase?
I don't see it in that way. I think that when I arrive to a place, if I go, is where I wanted to conquer it. So I put all my effort, I put all my mind, and at the end of the day, you never know.
It's always a risk.
It's always a risk. When we go to New York, also we are doing it something so personal and so different of what the people are willing to see or ready to see in a hotel. That is a lot of risk, but that's what makes us who we are, and the authenticity.
Can you tell me what about that property is personal?
Everything.
Can I have a little more detail?
You have to wait till May.
But what does it mean to you? Sorry, I'll ask the question differently. Everyone with their name on the building can claim that there's something personal. But again, just to go back to the authenticity of this brand, there's a sort of alchemy to it, right? All of the different elements that you're pulling in, they seem to create this sort of cohesive whole. I'm trying to drill down. I'm having a hard time picturing what will I see Faena New York be that isn't Buenos Aires, that isn't Miami, but that's New York, but also Faena.
Everything. Wait and see.
Yeah. You're not going to let me get away with it, apparently.
Everything is New York and Faena, New York, and we will create a trend that is Faena, New York.
What's exciting you in the hospitality space elsewhere? Where are you looking and seeing some, is there something that someone else is doing that you look at and say, might not be for me, might not be what we do, but that's a good idea, that's clever?
I think that everybody have good ideas, and when you see what everybody create. I think that I find interesting things, but they are not ideas for me.
So let's go in the opposite direction. What's a trend you want to see go away in hospitality, in culture, in music, in art?
I think that for me, the hospitality business is changing a lot because nobody only want to see a nice luxury room. I think that the people, what Faena offer is a 360 holistic approach for every moment of the day to the guest. It's not about having a nice room and a nice bed and, like the old hotel that is all about that. I think that today is something much more deep, and the people they see when they go to the restaurant, when they go to the bar, they want to see live, they want to get entertained. And I think that today the most important value is, again, to elevate the soul, the people have them happy and fun. And I think that's the big difference. So.
I think, certainly that we see it all the time at Robb Report. Luxury is simply an overused term. Everybody tries to use it. Now you see, some people say time is the ultimate luxury. Health is the ultimate luxury. For you, what's the ultimate luxury?
Love. When you live so many years without love, when you find the love, you really, that is the only luxury.
So I think, what I keep hearing, and I think what we all keep hearing, when you're talking about elevating the soul, when you're talking about building a community, when you're talking about going into areas that have nothing and then building a district out of them, this is all love?
No.
Love and some music?
Love like luxury is a word very devalued. These words like lifestyle, luxury, love, that means everything and it doesn't mean anything in the same time. I think that love, obviously, is love for what you do, but I was referring for real love, that is the love that you find in other person. And that's a blessing, to find the other person.
That's amazing. Well, I think from there, because I know we are running on time, I'm sure the audience has some questions for Mr. Faena. Can we open this up to the audience? Who has a question? Right there. Do we have a mic here?
Okay, get it. I'm getting a mic. I'll be right back. Sorry. Thanks, Josh.
First of all, thank you so much for having us here. And my question is about love. How did you find your love? And what is that you consider love? Because for everyone, love is different. They have different concept about understanding of it. So what is love for you?
Love for me is when you wake up thinking about someone and you go to sleep thinking about the same person. I was blessed. I searched all my life.
I have a question over here.
Hi, Alan. My name is Lee. I'm the customer of your hotel. I love it. And also I know Chris Birch, who invested in your hotel. Yes. So I'm curious, how did you convince Chris, which is very hard to convince, to invest in this hotel? And second, I would like to know, what's your biggest failure? You're very successful, but I like to know that what's your biggest mistake? Because we all learn from our mistakes. Thank you.
First, Chris Birch, honestly, is the person who discovered me. When Chris arrived, sometimes there are things that are written in the air, in the sky. And Chris Birch was the person who discovered me. When he came to Buenos Aires, I showed him my project, and he immediately believed in me. I don't know why, but probably he believed in my honest dream. And he knew, because he's a very sensitive person, and I always tell that Chris is another big creator, that he believed, I think that the creators find the truth in the other creator. And you know when, that creator that you're talking is going to fight for his dream, if he really believes it and is he authentic or not. And I think that Chris find that answer, and he was the first person who gave me money and put me, he created the path for me. So I am all my life will be very thankful for Chris to believe in me, and I am here because of Chris. So if you're taping for Chris, thank you very much, Chris.
And biggest mistake?
Biggest mistake? I will tell that my biggest mistakes, I do it every day. I have mistakes every day. And I think that my biggest mistake also have been with people that I believe and I give a lot, and then I fail on the response. Bigger fail have been, for example, when I left the fashion business to leave it, with the impeccability that probably I will leave it today. And I ran out. I feel that I was burned, and I didn't wait for the right moment. But I think that all those mistakes was always my strength. In perspective, all those mistakes make me stronger and better. And at the end of the day, all these weakness that I call on myself have been my strengths.
Yeah, I think generosity, whether or not it's reciprocated, can never be a mistake, right?
That's for sure not.
Anyone else?
Hi, Alan. First of all, I wanted to say that I'm very much inspired by your story. I've been following you for some time, and it's a true source of inspiration for me. And you've obviously been very creative, probably for most of your life. But my question to you is, were you always creative, or did you have to do something to unlock that source of creativity? Because it seems to be infinite to us, from the outside.
Great question.
So tell me, what was the question specifically?
Have you always been creative, or was there something that unlocked it for you?
No, I think that at the end, being a creator also is very painful, because it doesn't. I have a lot of moments where things didn't go out in the way that I wanted to be. But I think that one of the things that saved me is to have patience. Because between creation and creation, that you never manage, you think that you want things happen in the timing that you want them to happen, that never happen in that timing. So in the process, because it's much longer, you get sometimes desperate and you don't have the patience, and then you jump and you cannot wait for your creation. So for me, one of the words that make me stronger have been patient, to be strong and to stay in the place, because I always believe that the storm will pass and I will make the difference. But even in following what you said, even in the real estate, if I will take the way, not as a creator and to make buildings, to the fact of make buildings, I would lose the essence of creation, no? So I always try to keep who I was, a lot of ways making much less money than all these big developers that make building like mushrooms, and probably making the cities not so nice as it should be. I respect all those developers of the 30s and 40s and beginning of last century that they create the cities. Now we see all these towers that they have to do it on budget because the bank is a lot of interest, so they build. And we see the cities, all these cities fading, because they are, we have all this concrete and there is no soul. So I always try to for me, the most important have been my proper way. I believe that really to be rich is to have a path in your life that you can feel proud, and that is the authenticity. When you see yourself that on your path of every day, if you feel that that's the best path that you can take, and then not making mistake or not sell yourself to easy things that can, that is always tempted in all of us in whatever we do. The temptation to take us for our path is every day. And I think that following your question, which can be a big failure, is to fall into temptations.
Do we have time for one more, Christina?
I
Yeah?
think we.
Okay.
Oh, I think we need to move on. I'm so sorry.
Well, we could sit here talking with you all day. Look, sitting here, I really, really thank you so much for this conversation. Sitting across from you, I don't feel like I'm speaking to a hotelier or a real estate developer or a fashion designer. I feel like I'm speaking to an artist, which is, I think, what you are. So thank you, Alan.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. What a wonderful conversation. Thank you for joining us, Alan. It was a pleasure to have you here.
Time
Yeah.
that the Rob Report enjoy the suite, the Faena penthouse, and all your guests feel as happy as I feel to have you here.
Thank you very much. And remember, the most important thing you can't live without is love. Don't forget that.